that's a good question. So way back in high school, I would have said I was interested in architecture and civil engineering. So I think you hear that a lot from planners because we didn't know planning was a thing. When I got to college, I spent a couple of quarters trying computer science actually, and realized that I really didn't want to spend my life staying up all night staring at a computer screen trying to program. And I really wanted something that was interdisciplinary. So planning, and there it was urban studies, was my undergraduate degree, was interdisciplinary. So I got the engineering, I got the architecture, I got history, I got social sciences, I got a little bit of everything in that degree. So politics plays a huge role in planning. I mean, that's what they taught me at Iowa State. The P in planning is for politics. So I would say, as a consultant, it's less of a direct feeling of that, the role of politics, but certainly it's still there. You're always thinking about sort of that interaction with the city council or the board of supervisors or whoever the upper level of your client is. Um, the challenge is sort of implementing new ideas, especially when it comes to bike facilities. They kind of always evolve, and so there's always something that no one has heard of yet, or no one locally has tried. So anything that's new or innovative is a challenge, just because there's an unknown there, and so you have to communicate that with your client, but then also the public, and that public engagement stuff that's in there. So one of my initial projects here at Snyder was a bike master plan for the city of Knoxville. They had a couple of things. They had an old trail master plan, but it was really just one trail on the south side of the city. It didn't permeate the whole community. So it was this one little trail, and then that trail had a problem with crossing the north-south highway through town, which is Highway 14, because it's a 4-lane highway. And they're like, well, how do we get from one side to the other side safely? And one of the ideas was to build a bridge, which is incredibly expensive to build a bridge to cross a highway. Then I think shortly after that, they did a TEAP study, which is a traffic engineering assistance program. And on Highway 14, they were looking at doing a 4 to 3 lane conversion. And so if they did the 4 to 3 lane conversion, they'd have room for bike lanes. The other benefit of that is if you do that 4 to 3 lane conversion and you get bike lanes, you can also use that center 2-way turn lane as a pedestrian refuge. So now, instead of crossing 4 lanes of traffic, people could cross a bike lane, one travel lane, have a refuge, and then have another travel lane and another bike lane, so it'd be a lot easier to cross the road. So we kind of took those two main ideas and said, well, if you're going to have this trail, you're going to have these bike lanes, what can we do for the rest of the community? And so that idea, and it really came from their staff. Their staff initiated this thought, like, hey, we need to look a little bigger picture. We have these little pieces going on. We need to look at the bigger picture here. So that was kind of, I'd been through the bike master plan process in the city of Des Moines already, so I was familiar with kind of what we went through there. But I was I wasn't really the leader in that role. So for the city of Knoxville, I was really the project manager and the leader of that. And I'd say it went through pretty successfully. We had a committee, we had public meetings, we developed a master plan, we looked at education, encouragement, enforcement, evaluation, all of the ease of bicycling. And we really didn't have any pushback on that. We didn't have pushback from the community or from the leadership there. So it felt really surprisingly easy. But so I was really happy with how that went through. And for people starting new careers is that it takes 2 years to learn your job. And I think when I thought that when I first started with the city of Des Moines, I'm like, I feel like it's okay to not be super confident in the beginning or feel like you're getting all the work that you think you should be able to do in the beginning, because your career has to evolve too. And I feel like things because processes are so long and things, you're not doing the same thing every day. You might be doing the same thing every 6 months. But that's what keeps your job interesting. But that's also what makes it take a long time to feel like really confident in what you're doing. So I can say, well, I did a federal aid project, but I've done 2 in 4 years. It's not like I've done 50. So that confidence level comes with experience, but it takes a long time to get that experience.